Be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. Your divine self. You know we're all on the spiritual path. You might think there's somewhere to get to, somewhere where it's at. But we don't need to reach for that star. What we're searching for is who we really are. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself this morning. Your divine self. You've already got everything you need. Divine love, wisdom, and power for eternity. You can't be yourself. You can set yourself free. Everything you need is provided by divinity. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. Your divine self. And let your brothers and sisters be their real selves too. Let our divine selves play and see what we can do. All one divine self expressing in our unique way. Let's let the God times roll. Let's go out and play. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. Your divine self. Scooby-Dooby-Dooby-Doo. Well, it's all waiting for you. Yourself, myself, our divine selves too. Let's go out and play and see what we can do. We can be ourselves. Our divine self. Be yourself. Our divine self. Be yourself. Woo! Thank you so much. Let's hear it for our Unity House band. Kevin Harasa on guitar, Dean Taba on bass, Darren Poliahu on the drums. All right, bravo. That song is a true story. What we're searching for is who we really are. And the reason I can say that is just like Levitt was saying a while ago. There's one presence and power in the universe, all good. And it's everywhere present in its fullness. That means right where you are, right where I am, this presence is expressing as us. We're like waves of that ocean. We're like beams of that sun. And that means all the divine qualities are our qualities too. Infinite love, infinite wisdom, infinite joy, infinite creativity, health, abundance. And speaking of abundance, that other line in the song is true too. We already have everything that we need. We're here to express these divine qualities, and anything we need to do that, including what we need to have a wonderful life, has already been given to us. That's the truth. That's a beautiful spiritual truth. Unfortunately, from time to time, there seems like there's a little bit of a disconnect between those truths in our everyday lives. Sometimes it seems like we're not so divine. Sometimes it seems other people, you know those people over there, they're not so divine. Sometimes it seems like we don't have everything we need. We have lack, we have limitation, we have illness, issues in our lives. And there's a reason for that. I call it the blocks, the things that block our good. We're immersed in this mass consciousness. Anytime we're out in public, we're out doing our jobs with our friends and family, even in our own minds, there are these tacit agreements, these silent agreements that say that we're not divine. The world isn't a loving universe. It's a hostile universe. We're in competition with everybody else, and we have to struggle to make it. Now, being expressions of the one power, we are so powerful that if we buy into those agreements, that's what we're going to see out in the world, and that's what our lives are going to be like. But on the positive side, since we have this creative power, if we remember the truth of who we are and our good, we're going to see that in the world, and we're going to experience that in our lives. The way to do that, ladies and gentlemen, is what I call the unblocking. It has 3 parts. The first part is spiritual immersion. We're immersed in this mass consciousness already, so why don't we immerse ourselves in this spiritual truth? The second part is a strong daily spiritual practice. Practices we do away from the arena of action, such as meditation and affirmative prayer. You know, we get up in the morning, we brush our teeth, we take a shower, then we can meditate. The third part, very importantly, is a set of small mini practices we can do right in the course of our everyday lives, such as meditation in action, mini chants, and mini mantras. The spiritual immersion part. We're so fortunate to live in a time when this spirituality is in the mainstream. Oprah Winfrey even has a show about it. I see you've seen that show. There's so many authors writing these wonderful spiritual books that we can check out. You know, when I'm doing my morning ablutions, I'm like in there with my iPad, and I got about 5 books. I'm switching from one to the other, reading them all the time. There's spiritual movies we can check out. And I think we still are showing spiritual movies, movie nights every now and then here. And speaking of here, this is a vibrant spiritual community. As you'll see later on in the announcements, there's all kinds of classes going on, all kinds of events. And having been through a lot of classes, I can tell you they're so fulfilling, and they're fun too. I'd like to make a special mention of spiritual music. There's a whole scene of music going on called positive music or new thought music, and there's a whole selection of artists that are doing this kind of music. In fact, there's even a festival going on in Tampa that I'm going to attend as part of my licensed uni teacher training in February. Just Google positive music and you'll find a lot of artists. Of course, some of them have been here. Ricky B.B. from Agape was here for our little festival, and Karen Drucker's been here. There's just a ton of them. But the cool thing about music is not only does it hit the intellectual level, like music with lyrics about spirituality, it hits the emotional level, and that drives these spiritual principles into our subconscious to replace these erroneous beliefs and come out when we're living. The other thing is the song stuck in my head phenomenon. Has anybody experienced that? You know what I mean? It's like you listen to a song, the song's over, you go out and do something else, and that thing is still playing in your head. Well, if it's playing these wonderful spiritual truths, that's really going to help us to stay in that focus. Then there's formal daily spiritual practice. I'd like to talk about a type of meditation called insight meditation or mindfulness meditation. And its benefits are twofold. It helps us to be more aware of whatever's happening in the present moment, and it also helps us to develop the ability to let go. I know a lot of people have told me, and I've experienced this myself, oh man, I can't meditate. My mind just keeps racing and racing. I can't quiet my mind. Well, at least in terms of this style of meditation, that's really kind of a misconception, because even if we sit down and our minds are just chattering away, at some point we're aware of it. That's awareness. And then we come back to our breath, which is our anchor. That's letting go. That rubs off in our everyday lives. And we can just let go of the idea of having any kind of goals when we meditate, like, oh, I got to quiet my mind. I got to receive enlightenment today. Really, all this is about is just being in this present moment. Just be in this moment. Relax and let go. Just be in spirit. There's joy when we just be. I invite you to sing along. Just be in this moment. Relax and let go. Just be in spirit. There's joy when we just be. I invite you to sit comfortably, upright and relaxed. Let your eyes go into a soft focus or close them if you prefer. Let's be conscious of our natural breathing in and out. Now, whatever comes into our awareness, let's be aware of it, whether it's a sound we hear, a sensation in our bodies. If we're feeling an emotion, just feel it wherever you feel it in your body. If the mind starts thinking, be aware of the thought. If you get lost in thought, that's cool. Just be aware of it when you realize it and come back to your breath. I invite you to come back to your awareness of the room. Open your eyes if they're closed. That's just a little sample. Another practice we can do as part of our formal daily spiritual practice is affirmative prayer. It's one of the styles of prayer we teach at Unity. It's a 5-part prayer. In the first part, we acknowledge that there's this one presence and power everywhere present. The second step is we acknowledge our oneness with this power. The third step is we realize that whatever we're praying about has already been supplied by all these divine qualities. The fourth part, we give thanks. And the fifth part, we release it. Now, that's very important because when we release the prayer, we're saying that we're allowing the universe to supply us with the how. The how isn't any of our business. And I found so many times when I do that, instead of trying to figure everything out, synchronicities come, the right people come, and it's better than I could have possibly imagined. So I invite you to join me in a moment of affirmative prayer right now. Close your eyes if you're comfortable. I'm so grateful to know that this one presence and one power, all good, is everywhere present. So grateful to know that each one of us is expressions of this power, one with this power. Now I invite you to think of something you'd like to pray about. I'm so grateful to know that whatever anyone is praying about here today, all the divine qualities are at work, present, right where that person is, right where that situation is. Qualities such as divine wisdom and guidance, divine love, divine joy and creativity, health and wholeness, divine abundance, prosperity. It's happening right now. I give great thanks to know that this is the truth. I release this word to the universe, to the law of good, knowing it is already done in the most perfect way. Now we'll close this prayer by please repeating after me. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Yes. That's our daily practice. Now, our mini practices in the course of our everyday lives, we can extend that meditation practice. Sometime when we notice that we're caught up in the fear and the doubt and the worry, we can just take a conscious breath Our friend Levitt Thomas over here, I've been in a whole bunch of his classes, and he always has this wonderful thing to say that I love. It only takes one breath to come home. So that's what we can do. We can also take advantage of little breaks, like when we have to wait for something, to do a little bit more meditation practice. I've had a lot of outer island gigs this month. I've been really, really busy. Some days I haven't had time to do that first thing in the morning practice. I had one in Kona. Has anyone been to the Kona airport? Yeah. Well, I was coming back from this gig in Kona, and you know how that security line can get really long? Like it's almost from here to the door? And plus it's zigzagging around like this. Well, I'm standing there, I'm at the end of the line, I'm going, oh no, man, this is going to take forever. And all of a sudden I thought, wait a minute, I can take advantage of this and meditate. So I stood there, I became aware of my breath. I was aware of the people around me. I was even aware of the thoughts that I didn't feel like standing in this line. But then I let them go and I came back to my breath. So it was a wonderful opportunity to practice. Another mini practice we can do in the course of our daily lives is mini chants and mini mantras. Just little tiny thoughts we can have to bring us back to the truth of who we really are. I'd like to share one with you based on a song right now. Loving Spirit, loving Spirit, sing along if you want to. Loving Spirit, loving Spirit, loving Spirit. Loving Spirit, it's all by your grace. Loving Spirit, I feel your love. Loving Spirit, it fills me completely. Loving Spirit. We can take what we musicians call the hook of this song, Loving Spirit, and use it as a mini chant. Loving Spirit. Sing that with me one more time. Loving Spirit. Ooh, beautiful. I like to use it when I'm having a hectic day and the negative thoughts come in. I'm complaining. I'm tired. All of a sudden, oh God, why do I have to do all this stuff? Why is this day running on so long? I'm running late. Loving Spirit immediately brings me back. It can bring us back to the remembering that there is this one presence and power, loving us, supplying us. I'd also like to share a more spoken word kind of a thing, a mini mantra, I call it. It comes from the younger people's vernacular, I believe. It's called, "It's all good." I like to use that when my mind is coming up with thoughts that it's not all good. Oh man, I don't know how this is going to turn out. Why does this have to happen to me? It's all good. It's all good, Dan. It's all good. Another reminder we can use. So I invite you all to do these practices, to immerse yourselves in this spirituality, and for us to all have a wonderful daily practice of meditation and affirmative prayer, and to use these mini mantras and chants and short meditations throughout the day to bring us back and remind us. If you go to my website, dandelnegro.com, I have some recordings of chants in there to check out. I also have some list of readings to do, like kind of a jumping off point. And I know if we do this spiritual immersion, this formal daily practice, and these mini practices, we're going to change our consciousness. And when we're around people, just by being the way we are, it's going to change the mass consciousness and ultimately change the world. So I invite you to join me in this so we all can say, I'm living it now. I'm living it now. I'm living it now. I invite you to sing along. I'm living it now. I'm living it now. I let the love of God into my life. It flows through me into the world outside. I'm living it now. I'm living it now. The power of God supplies all of my good, to lift me up in everyone I meet. I'm living it now. I'm living it now. The presence of God connects me to the world. I feel the oneness with everyone I see. I'm living it now. I'm living it now. Sing along, we're living it. We're living it now. We're living it now. I'm living it now. Thank you. Namaste.